All right, time for your quick hits right here on the Flashback. Welcome back. It's Radio Hondo on the Flashback. We have our quick hits of the week segment to get to. That's right. We just hit them hard. We hit them quick, and we get it done. Bust it out. Mama see it. Mama see it. So, a lot of things we went over this week. And today, Black Monday took place. Rex Ryan gone, of course. Tressman gone. Mike Smith gone. A couple of GMs gone. We're thinking Fisher might be out of there. Marvin Lewis, if he can't win a ball game. Defensive side of the ball for the Saints. Both Ryans might be out of a job by the end of the week. Of course, Cleveland, the state that they are. We talked about it in hour number one. Johnny Manziel is just, he's a bad influence on the Browns. The Browns are bad influence on him. But where does it start? Systemic. It's systemic. The whole organization is messed up. That's why they're so fun to talk about. Even though they don't do any good. I mean, it makes it a little bit more interesting if they're actually being competitive, and we have to say, do they need to stop the nonsense? Is the nonsense working? Is it positive? No, we don't even have that discussion. It's just, it's all nonsense. And we know they're not winning, and then we know they're not going to win until they get rid of it. Bengals going to do it. Now the Browns are the Bungles. Also covered Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and a whole lot more. League MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Really think Odell Beckham kind of probably carries it away, but Jeremy Hill is right there with him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Hill took it just with the numbers that he did as well, plus splitting it. I mean, Hill could just about be a feature back. But he's not there. Not there yet. So we'll see how things boil down on the offensive side. Defensive Rookie of the Year, like I said, Khalil Mack had a huge season. C.J. Mosley is probably my front runner. I think Clinton Dix with Green Bay is certainly someone who should have his name in that hat as well. So we'll see how that breaks down. And League MVP as well. Rodgers, Romo, J.J. Watt. I think those are your three favorites. Tom Brady putting up some numbers. But, seriously, when you look at the quarterback situation, nothing new has been established. The bar is so high for that quarterback scenario that they're just having trouble, trying to break that and break the mold a little bit now, because of the success of the passing game in the last 5 years. So, hey, let's give it to the defensive side of the ball. Haven't had somebody in 18 years, or excuse me, even longer than that. We're looking at 28 years. 28 years since we've had a defensive player win the MVP. Lawrence Taylor, 86. So let's get it to J.J. Watt. Come on. Guy broke records. Almost got his team into the playoffs. Get a decent quarterback in there, probably would have. And we took a look at the wild card matchups, of course. Dallas, Detroit, Arizona, Carolina on the NFC side, and the matchup between Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Baltimore at Pittsburgh on the AFC side. So, quick hits. Let's just get right into it. Ndamukong Suh suspended one game for stepping on Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I watched this video, and when you see it, he knows his foot is on someone. And he decides to take the extra press on the ankle of Rodgers. It's so sad to see this. Like I said before, such a great player, yet really such an idiot. Just an idiot. Was it really worth the risk to not be able to be there for your team? Your team needs you more than the team that you may or may not end up facing later on in the playoffs. Your team needs you more, but you're going to go ahead and knock yourself out of that game and pretty much kill your team's chance of advancing. Because now you have to find some type of answer on the defensive front, and you know what? Murray doesn't give out apologies. He just gives out bus tickets. So anyway, well done, Ndamukong Suh. Maybe someday you will finally learn. Unfortunately, it's not looking very good there. So, again, maybe Detroit and Ndamukong should have just stayed focused on Dallas, because clearly they weren't solely thinking about Green Bay that day either. They got their butts kicked and handed to them. despite the fact that they made it close at 14-14 for a bit, but it really wasn't actually that close. Johnny Manziel, just jumping to the next one quick hit. Johnny Manziel says he wants to stop, quote, looking like a jackass. No, that's simple. Just stop acting like a jackass. Yeah. Having parties, then denying that you're having parties, getting your fellow teammates in trouble, not focusing, being inserted as the starter in Week 15, and not having a full grasp on the playbook despite being there the entire year and not knowing anything. So they have to dumb down the system for you. Those are jackass moves. Get rid of your money signs. Get rid of your parties. Get rid of your posse. When he won the Heisman and I looked at his parents, I thought, how in the heck are those his parents? They don't look like people that raised a kid like that. He's going to find out real fast. He's finding out real fast. And now he says he knows. Looking like a jackass. That's right, Johnny. You got it right. All right, Tom Brady restructures his contract, saves the team $24 million. All right, should we be surprised at this? The never-ending focus and the dedication? The dedication and focus on team? It's what Tom Brady brings. It's what he represents. That's why we like him. It's why it's hard to hate. Well, some people make it easy to hate him just because he's so successful, but he just does it. Maybe Johnny Manziel should get Tom Brady's number from Jim Gray. See if that'll help out. Probably not. Cavaliers head coach David Blatt has questions surrounding him now at this point in the season about his ability to guide the team. That was a headline earlier today. Now, Cleveland, you took in a superstar team. You brought people in, great contributors. You picked up a first-year coach out of Europe to lead the way for this team. That was your decision, to pick up a first-year guy out of Europe. Not saying he can't have success, but it's really hard for somebody who doesn't have any type of rapport with the league, let alone the team, and come in and try to lead the team that has the number one superstar in the game. That doesn't typically go over too well. So no surprises here. Hopefully, hopefully we see LeBron kind of rustle his team together and stand behind the coach. I think he will do that. I like a lot of the leadership skills that we see out of LeBron that we've seen since he came into the league. Yeah, he makes some silly stuff here and there, but I think overall, the amount of pressure that he has had his entire life and career in terms of success and what he's supposed to be, he's handled it really well, and he actually has done a pretty decent job. And knowing when he doesn't need to be the number one guy, and also understanding when he does need to step up, because he is the best player out there. So we'll see if they can get that rearranged, but no surprise to hear that the Cavs coach, of course, not being able to get anything established there in terms of some authority and everything. All right, Lane Kiffin says he's staying in Alabama next season. Yeah, good call. He's a great assistant, and he should give some more time to develop in his coaching skills. We saw him have some shortfalls early on. I think that was just a young guy getting into a situation where it was too big of a job for him. Bama's a good place right now, and they like him, and they look good with him as an OC, an offensive coordinator. So let's stick with it. I like to hear that. Kyle Orton announces retirement. Now, this is good for Orton. I agree with it. Went out on a bright spot, wants to spend his time with his family, had led Buffalo to a very successful season in terms of the games that he was involved in. 10 years in the league, out of Purdue. He filled in for Drew Brees when Drew Brees was drafted, came into the league with San Diego, and now Orton, kind of spent his 10 years in the league, wants to spend more time with the family. So bigger question, I think, here is really actually for the Bills. What are they going to do now? Jeff Toole to Sammy Watkins. That is a possibility. Yeah. You know why? Because there are no first-round picks this year. Gave them up to get Sammy, and now they're in a tough spot. Just a couple more here. One last one. Derrick Rose says, I think we can really make a championship run this year. I really think the Bulls can make a championship run this year. That does not surprise me that Derrick Rose would say that. However, the note to that, I completely agree, but it's not because of what they've been able to do with Derrick Rose, although they have been good with him, 15-6 on the season, but it's going to be really what they've been able to build without him. 6-3 without, so still pretty decent there. That'll help you once you finally get everything together. So give Rose as much rest as you want. Let him just play the last 25 games of the season, get warmed up, all right? Okay, time to close things out. Final segment coming up next. What games you don't want to miss this week? The bowl season is inching closer as well, or it's getting right into the mix of it, closer to our first playoff game in history, and the NBA heating up as well. So we'll talk about some matchups we want to check out on the tube and go over the good beyond the obvious. We want to see the playoff games, but also want to check out some of the other bowl games going on there as well. So we'll talk about them. Don't forget, you can always email us at radiohondo@gmail.com, radiohondo@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, just everyday insults, whatever you want to send across. I have somebody screen it for poison and anthrax, so you're not getting it through my Gmail. All right. Final segment of the Flashback coming up in just a bit. This is Radio Hondo.